Welcome to the second class of time, speed and distance. In today's class, we'll be covering the concept of relative speed, the concept of meetings, and then we'll be discussing questions based upon relative speed and concept of meetings. So let's start with the first topic for the day, concept of relative speed. Let us say that there are two cars, car A and car B, which are moving in the same direction with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour and 40 kilometers per hour. If I have to define the relative speed of car A with respect to car B, then the first thing that I should do is that I should assume that the speed of car B is 0. I assume that car B is a stationary car, and with respect to car B, car A is moving at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. 20 kilometers per hour is the relative speed of car A with respect to car B. So basically मैं assume कर रहा हूँ कि जो कार B है, अगर ये stationary है, तो इसके रेफरेंस में कार ए का स्पीड 20 किलोमीटर पर आवर है. We all have learned the formula for relative speed in our 7th standard maths. I hope we remember the formula. So we learned in 7th standard maths that relative speed is defined as the speed of faster car minus the speed of slower car if the two cars are moving in same direction. So अगर दो गाड़ियाँ same direction में move करती हैं, relative speed is always defined as v minus u, where v stands for the speed of the faster car and u stands for the speed of the slower car. Now, however, let us assume that car B and car A are moving towards each other. So here's my car A moving at 60 kilometers per hour. Here's my car B moving at 40 kilometers per hour, and these two cars are moving towards each other. When the two cars are moving towards each other, and again you have to define the relative speed of car A with respect to car B, that will be 60 plus 40, 100. Again, this is something which we have learned in our 7th standard mathematics. Relative speed is defined as the sum of two speeds if two cars are moving towards each other. This is a very easy funda, and I assume we already know this much of the concept of relative speed. Now let us understand the concept of relative speed using an example. Salman sees Katrina at a distance of 1000 meters and they start running towards each other at a speed of 7 meters per second and 3 meters per second. After how long will they meet? In this question, we have two people under consideration, Salman and Katrina, and they are at a distance of 1000 meters from each other. So क्वेश्चन की बिगिनिंग में मुझे दे रखा है कि सलमान और कैटरीना एक दूसरे से 1000 मीटर्स के डिस्टेंस पे हैं. Now they start running towards each other with a speed of 7 meters per second and 3 meters per second. I have to find after how long will they meet. Now most of us would be attempting this question in a very simplistic way. They would be saying, oh, the speeds are given to us as 7 and 3 and they are running towards each other. Therefore, relative speed has to be the sum of two speeds. Therefore, if I have to find the relative speed, that will be 7 plus 3 or perhaps 10 meters per second. Now, if the relative speed turns out to be 10 meters per second and the distance is 1000 meters, I can directly say that the time after which they will be meeting will be 1000 meters, which is distance upon relative speed, which is 10. Therefore, the answer is 100 seconds. Point taken. सही है, आंसर 100 सेकेंड्स ही आएगा. लेकिन इस क्वेश्चन को यूज करके हम रिलेटिव स्पीड के कंसेप्ट को थोड़ा ज्यादा डिटेल में समझ सकते हैं. लेट अस सी व्हाट्स हैपनिंग हियर. इनिशियली सलमान और कैटरीना के बीच में जो डिस्टेंस है वो 1000 मीटर्स का है. सलमान स्टार्ट्स रनिंग एंड ही स्टार्ट्स रनिंग एट अ स्पीड ऑफ 7 meters per second. Let us consider the case of first 1 second. If Salman is running at a speed of 7 meters per second and we assume the case of first 1 second only, then can we say in the first second Salman would have run a distance of 7 meters, while Katrina, who is running at 3 meters per second, would have covered a distance of 3 meters in this very first second. So initial situation क्या था, सलमान और कैटरीना के बीच में 1000 meters का गैप था, जिसको पहले एक सेकंड में सलमान ने 7 मीटर से रिड्यूस कर दिया और कैटरीना ने 3 मीटर से रिड्यूस किया. एज अ रिजल्ट जो टोटल डिस्टेंस था 1000 मीटर्स का, दैट गॉट रिड्यूस्ड बाय 7 plus 3, 10 meters. Now let us consider the case of first 2 seconds. Salman, again running at a speed of 7 meters per second, in first 2 seconds will be covering a total distance of 14 meters, while Katrina in the same time would be covering a distance of 6 meters. So what we have here is a case where Salman is reducing the distance by 14 meters while Katrina is reducing the distance by 6 meters. As a result, in the first 2 seconds, the total distance gets reduced by 20 meters. What we have here is a situation in which the distance between two people got reduced by 10 meters in first second, by 20 meters in second, and so on. So what we observe here is relative speed 10 meters per second does not just represent the speed of one object with reference to another, but it also represents the rate at which the intervening distance reduces. In this case, Salman and Katrina were running towards each other, so they were reducing the distance which was between the two. So relative speed, which is 10 meters per second, represents the rate at which this intervening distance between two people is reduced. Now, however, consider a different case. Let us say Salman and Katrina are running in the same direction and they are running in this direction. That means Salman, who is the faster, is already ahead and Katrina is running behind him. If they have an initial distance of 1000 meters, every 1 second that Salman runs, he increases this distance of 1000 meters by 7 meters, while Katrina reduces this distance by 3 meters. Again, let us take the case of very first second. The initial distance was 1000 meters. Salman, running for the very first second, increased this distance by 7 meters, while Katrina in the same second reduced the distance by 3 meters. So initially the distance was 1000 meters. Salman added 7 meters to it, while Katrina decreased the distance by 3 meters. Net result, the distance got increased by 4 meters. We define relative speed as the speed of one object with reference to another, but for practical purposes, relative speed represents the rate at which the intervening distance between two objects reduces or increases. Hopefully, we are able to understand the concept of relative speed. Let us move on to examples now. A thief is spotted by a policeman at a distance of 200 meters. The policeman starts chasing the thief at 10 meters per second while the thief tries to escape at 12 meters per second. After how long will the thief be caught? In this question, we have a situation in which the thief is initially at a distance of 200 meters from the policeman. Now, as soon as the policeman spots the thief, the policeman starts chasing the thief at a speed of 10 meters per second. Now, if the policeman is chasing the thief at 10 meters per second, the thief is trying to escape and his speed is 12 meters per second. Obviously, it is assumed that the policeman and the thief are running in the same direction. Obviously, चोर पुलिस वाले की तरफ थोड़ी ना भागेगा. They are running in the same direction. Now, how most of the students, I won't say most, many of the students attempt the question is, this is the slow speed, this is the faster speed, therefore relative speed for two objects moving in the same direction is defined as difference of two speeds, therefore relative speed ends up becoming 2 meters per second. Now if the relative speed is 2 meters per second and the distance is 200 meters, time taken to cover this distance will be 200 by 2 or perhaps 100 seconds. This is wrong. This is the wrong way of solving the question. In fact, if we are marking the answer as 100 seconds, then we are obviously missing out the basic concept of relative speed. We just learned that relative speed also happens to represent the rate at which the two objects moving in same direction or towards each other, the rate at which the distance between two objects increases or decreases. So before you apply relative speed, the logical question that you should be asking yourself is that are the two objects moving in such way that the distance would increase or decrease? In this case, we already have a thief who is running at a faster speed as compared to the policeman. Obviously, if they happen to run in the same direction, the thief who is faster would be increasing the distance at a rate of 2 meters per second. So relative speed to 2 meters per second ही आएगा, but this 2 meters per second represents the rate at which the distance between the thief and the cop is increasing. Since the distance is increasing, eventually the thief would escape, and the answer is the thief would never be caught. Obviously, this was a trick question. You won't get such a question on your paper, but hopefully this simple, funny, stupid example helps you understand the concept of relative speed in a greater detail. We do define relative speed at the rate. We do define relative speed as the rate at which the distance between two objects increases or decreases, but that does not mean it is as simple as saying कि distance by relative speed करो answer आ जाएगा. You have to also think that whether the distance is increasing or decreasing. Hopefully, we are able to understand this example. Now let us move on to a more serious example. A thief escapes a police station at 9 a.m. and starts running at 10 meters per second. The police realizes that the thief has escaped after 15 minutes and starts chasing him in a jeep at 108 kilometers per hour. When would the thief be caught? In this given question, we have a situation where a thief escapes a police station. So let us say this is the police station that we have, and the thief escapes this police station at 9 a.m. Now, as soon as the thief escapes this police station, the thief starts running at 10 meters per second. तो जैसे ही चोर पुलिस स्टेशन से भागता है, वो 10 meters per second की स्पीड पे भागना शुरू कर देता है. Furthermore, my question says the police realizes that the thief has escaped after 15 minutes. That means for the first 15 minutes, it is only the thief who is running. So जब पुलिस को ही 15 मिनटों के बाद पता लग रहा है कि चोर भाग चुका है, तो पहले 15 मिनटों के लिए सिर्फ चोर भाग रहा है. अब अगर चोर पहले 15 मिनटों के लिए भागता रहेगा, तो he would have definitely covered some distance. What would be that distance? Well, distance is defined as the product of speed and time, and speed of thief has already been given to me as 10 meters per second. What about the time taken? Well, we know that the thief has been running for 15 minutes. अब अगर चोर 15 मिनटों के लिए भाग रहा है और उसका स्पीड 10 मीटर्स पर सेकेंड है, तो आई कैन डिफाइन द डिस्टेंस. ऑब्वियसली मुझे डिस्टेंस डिफाइन करने से पहले स्पीड के अकॉर्डिंग टाइम को सेकंड्स में लाना पड़ेगा. अगर मेरा स्पीड 10 मीटर्स पर सेकेंड है, तो मैं उसे डायरेक्टली 15 मिनट्स के साथ मल्टीप्लाई नहीं कर सकता. आई नीड टू कन्वर्ट 15 मिनट्स इनटू सेकंड्स एज वेल. वी ऑल नो दैट 1 minute is 60 seconds. Therefore, 15 minutes will be 900 seconds, or perhaps the distance will end up becoming 9,000 meters. So here we have a situation in which a thief escaped from the police station at 9 a.m., kept running for 15 minutes, and covered a total distance of 9,000 meters in first 15 minutes. So now it is 9:15, and at 9:15 the thief is already 9,000 meters away from the police station. It is at this moment that the police realizes that the thief has escaped and starts chasing the thief in a jeep. So अब situation क्या है? 9:15 पे पुलिस स्टेशन में और थीफ में टोटल 9,000 मीटर्स का डिस्टेंस है. चोर अभी भी 10 मीटर्स पर सेकंड की स्पीड पे पुलिस स्टेशन से दूर भाग रहा है, और इस मूवमेंट पे पुलिस इस चोर को फॉलो करना शुरू करती है एक जीप में जिसका स्पीड है 108 किलोमीटर पर आवर. बाय द वे, द डिस्टेंस इज इन मीटर्स, द स्पीड ऑफ द थीफ इज इन meters per second. We need to convert this speed into meters per second as well. For that, I'll be multiplying that with 5/t. So what we get here is 30 meters per second as the speed of jeep. There's a distance of 9,000 meters, which by the way thief created by running for first 15 minutes, and the police is moving in the same direction of the thief. The police is moving at a speed of 30 meters per second while the thief is trying to escape at a speed of 10 meters per second. We have a case in which relative speed is to be applied as the difference of two speeds because the two objects are moving in same direction. So we calculate relative speed as the speed of the faster object minus the speed of the slower object, which ends up becoming 20 meters per second. Now if the relative speed is 20 meters per second and the total distance is 9,000 meters, from here we can directly say that the time after which they will be meeting will be distance upon relative speed, or perhaps 450 seconds. Now, as per the options of my given question, I am not given the time as 460 seconds in any of my options. However, I am given the answer in minute second format. So what I can do is that first of all I can take this 450 seconds and convert that into minutes. If I have to convert anything which is given to me in seconds into minutes, I need to divide that with 60. So what happens when I divide 450 with 60? Well, what I get is 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Now 7 minutes and 30 seconds after what? After 9:15. So 9:15 के बाद उसको 7.5 मिनट और लगेंगे. Therefore my answer is 9:22:30 a.m. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. With this we will end with our discussion on relative speed. Generally we do not get questions of relative speed directly. Most of the time relative speed के questions are always found in conjunction with another concept which we like to call as the concept of meetings. So next we will be discussing the concept of meetings, and then we'll be discussing ample examples in which both the concept of relative speed and the concept of meetings would be used. Let us understand the concept of meetings using a very simple example. Let us say that there are two friends. One of them happens to live in Amritsar and the other friend happens to live in Pathankot. Let us say Amritsar and Pathankot are at a distance of 100 kilometers from each other. So I'm just assuming a rough value. So मान लेते हैं कि अमृतसर से पठानकोट का जो approximate distance है वो 100 kilometers है. Now both of them are very good friends. So जो बंदा अमृतसर में रह रहा है और जो बंदा पठानकोट में रहता है, both of them happen to be very good friends. Now the friend from Amritsar, the friend who lives in Amritsar, calls up his friend in Pathankot and says, भाई तू मिलने आ जा, अमृतसर आ जा, we'll have a chat. The friend from Pathankot simply replies, भाई तू मिलने आ जा. The friend from Amritsar says, नहीं नहीं भाई तू मिलने आ. The Pathankot वाला बंदा says, नहीं भाई तू मिलने आ. So what we have here is a situation in which the two friends want to meet, but none of them actually want to travel a distance of 100 kilometers to see the other friend. So they come up with a novel solution. The friend from Amritsar says that तू अपने घर से निकल, मैं अपने घर से निकलता हूँ, रास्ते में कहीं पे मिल लेते हैं. So the friend from Amritsar starts driving his car at 30 kilometers per hour towards Pathankot, while the friend from Pathankot starts driving his car at 20 kilometers per hour towards Amritsar. The plan is to meet somewhere in between. Now, if two of them are moving at a speed of 30 and 20 towards each other, the first thing that we say here is that relative speed ends up becoming 30 plus 20 or perhaps 50 kilometers per hour. Now, if the relative speed is 50 kilometers per hour and the distance of 100 kilometers is to be covered, can we say that the time after which they will be meeting will be 100 kilometers covered with the relative speed of 50 kilometers per hour or perhaps 2 hours? So they will be meeting after 2 hours. So here you had the friend from Amritsar, here you had the friend from Pathankot. They both started at the same time. Their relative speed is 50 and after 2 hours they met. Now what happens when they meet? First of all, will the distance covered by two of them would be same? Of course not. They are traveling at different speeds. Therefore, the distance traveled would also be different. Let us calculate what that distance would be. If they are meeting after 2 hours, that's like saying कि जिस टाइम से अमृतसर वाला बंदे ने चलना शुरू किया उसके एग्जैक्टली 2 घंटे के बाद उनका मीटिंग हुआ. दैट मीन्स अगर वो यहाँ से लेट से सुबह 8 बजे चलना शुरू करता है तो 2 घंटे के बाद उसने एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया होगा. पठानकोट वाला बंदा भी लेट से सुबह 8 बजे ही चलना शुरू करता है तो 2 घंटे में उसने एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया होगा. दे मीट हियर एट 10 AM, that means after 2 hours. Now, if this person started at 8 and met the other person at 10, this person is driving with a speed of 30 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. Therefore, the distance traveled by the friend from Amritsar is 60 kilometers, and in a similar fashion, the distance covered by the friend from Pathankot is 40 kilometers. Obviously, they together have covered a distance of 100 kilometers, but that does not mean आधा उसने किया आधा उसने किया. They are covering this distance in a certain ratio. The ratio happens to be 60:40, which reduces to 3:2. Now, by the way, if the ratio of distance is 3:2, that also happens to be the ratio of speed. अगर speed हमारे पास 30 and 20 है तो उनकी speeds का ratio भी 3:2 ही आ रहा है. Now, the ratio of speed and the ratio of distance is same. Is this just a coincidence or something exists in the form of a mathematical logic? Let us understand what's happening here by reconsidering the formula of speed. We define speed as distance by time taken. Now, two of them started at 8 AM and they met after 2 hours at 10 a.m. In a way, what we are saying here is that both the friends are traveling for the same time. Now if two of them are traveling for the same time, can I say in the formula speed is equals to distance by time, the time traveled becomes same or constant. Now if the time traveled becomes same or constant, from there we can say that speed becomes directly proportional to distance. And if speed becomes directly proportional to distance, from here we can say the ratio of speed of one person to that of the other will become same as the ratio of distance of one person to the other. So what we are looking out here is a situation in which, because the two objects are starting at the same time and meeting at the same time, the time becomes same or constant, and as a result the ratio of speeds becomes equal to ratio of distances. Always remember it as a direct concept. Whenever you are considering the case of meetings, number one, the time of the journey for both the persons in consideration is same. Number two, because the time is same, the ratio of speeds becomes equals to the ratio of distances. Hopefully we are able to understand this much of the logic of concept of meetings. Let us further work on this logic in the next example. Two cars start from Delhi and Agra simultaneously. They meet at a point which is 20 kilometers away from point X. If X lies exactly in the middle of the journey and Delhi is 250 kilometers away from Agra, then calculate the ratio of their speeds. इस क्वेश्चन में जो पहली चीज मुझे दी हुई है वो ये है कि दिल्ली से आगरा का जो टोटल डिस्टेंस है वो 250 kilometers है. So if I take my Delhi here and my Agra here, the total distance between these two stations is 250 kilometers. Also, X happens to be in the middle of the journey. So that means जो point X है वो दिल्ली से भी 125 किलोमीटर दूर है और आगरा से भी 125 किलोमीटर दूर है. Now, the two cars leave Delhi and Agra simultaneously. तो वो दिल्ली और आगरा से एक साथ चलती हैं and they meet at a point which is 20 kilometers away from this middle point X. So they meet at a point जो point X से 20 किलोमीटर दूर है. Now the question is ambiguous. It doesn't tell me whether it is 20 kilometers towards Delhi or 20 kilometers towards Agra. So we'll have to consider both the cases. In the first case, I assume that the point of meeting is 20 kilometers towards Delhi, and in the second case, I assume that the point of meeting is 20 kilometers towards Agra. In the first case, the car which starts from Delhi, by the time it reaches the point of meeting, it would have covered a distance of 105 kilometers. पॉइंट एक्स दिल्ली से 125 किलोमीटर दूर था, लेकिन उसका मीटिंग उससे 20 किलोमीटर पीछे ही हो जाना है. दैट मीन्स 125 किलोमीटर की बजाय अब दिल्ली से आने वाली गाड़ी 105 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल करेगी. अदर वे अराउंड, जो आगरा से कार आ रही है, पहले वो पॉइंट एक्स तक 125 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल करेगी और फिर 20 किलोमीटर एक्स्ट्रा ट्रेवल करेगी. देयरफॉर द कार फ्रॉम आगरा, by the time it meets the other car, the car from Agra would have covered a total distance of 125 plus 20 or perhaps 145 kilometers. So in the first case, we have a situation in which the car from Delhi is covering a distance of 105 kilometers, while the car from Agra is covering a distance of 145 kilometers. This is what happens when the meeting takes place 20 kilometers away from point X towards Delhi. Let's consider the other case in which the meeting takes place 20 kilometers away from point X but towards Agra. इस केस में दिल्ली वाली कार पहले पॉइंट एक्स तक 125 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल करेगी और 20 किलोमीटर उसके बाद ट्रेवल करेगी. सो इन अ वे व्हाट वी आर सेइंग हियर इज दैट द कार फ्रॉम दिल्ली वुड बी कवरिंग अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ 125 plus 20 or perhaps 145 kilometers. Other way around, the car from Agra would be covering just a distance of 105 kilometers. So now what we have is a situation in which the car from Delhi has covered more distance as compared to the car from Agra. My question is not talking about distance. My question says calculate the ratio of speeds. We learned in the previous discussion that in case of meetings, the time traveled is same. And if the time traveled is same, the ratio of speeds is the ratio of distances. इस क्वेश्चन में मेरे पास दो केसेस है। पहले केस में रेशियो ऑफ डिस्टेंसेस एंड्स अप बिकमिंग 21:29। दूसरे केस में रेशियो ऑफ डिस्टेंसेस एंड्स अप बिकमिंग 29:21। और क्योंकि इस क्वेश्चन में दोनों केसेस मीटिंग के हैं, तो कैन आई डायरेक्टली से दैट व्हाटएवर इज द रेशियो ऑफ डिस्टेंसेस एंड्स अप बिकमिंग द रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड्स। This makes option C as my correct answer. Either my answer is 21:29 or my answer is 29:21. Therefore, option C, which is either A or B, is the correct answer. Hopefully, we are able to understand this logic of concept of meetings. Whenever you have a meeting, the time becomes same or constant, and as a result, the ratio of distances ends up becoming the ratio of speeds. Let's move on to the next example. A cat is inside a tunnel AB at a distance of 5/12 AB from the entrance A. A train is approaching this tunnel. When the train whistles, the cat begins to run. If the cat runs towards entrance A, then the cat is killed by the train at the entrance A. If the cat runs towards exit B, then the cat is killed by the train at exit B. Calculate the ratio of the speed of the train to that of the cat. The first thing given to me in the question is that we have a train approaching a tunnel and the tunnel is labeled AB. So we have this tunnel. So let me draw the tunnel here. I'm not very good at drawing, but hopefully I'm doing justice to the question. So let's assume this is the tunnel that we have here. So we have this tunnel AB. As per my question, A is the entrance of the tunnel and B is the exit of the tunnel. A train is approaching this tunnel. So obviously there's some train. So let's have this train. Dua maar rahi hai train. So we have a train which is approaching this tunnel. Now inside the tunnel, what you have is a cat, and the cat, let me draw a cat here, and the cat is at a distance of 5/12 AB from the entrance A. Next, my question says, when the train whistles, the cat begins to run. तो जैसे ये ट्रेन विसल करती है, ये बिल्ली भागना शुरू करती है, और अगर ये बिल्ली एंट्रेंस ए की तरफ भागे तो ट्रेन इसको एंट्रेंस ए पर कुचल देती है। अगर ये बिल्ली एग्जिट बी की तरफ भागे तो ये कैट ट्रेन द्वारा एग्जिट बी पे मारी जाती है। सो व्हाट वी हैव इज अ सिचुएशन इन विच टू मीटिंग्स आर टेकिंग प्लेस. If the meeting of the train and the cat takes place at the entrance A, the cat is killed at entrance A. If the meeting of the cat and the train takes place at exit B, the cat is killed at exit B. दोनों केसेस में कैट मर रही है, बट हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हमें मीटिंग का कंसेप्ट मिल गया. सो टनल की एंट्रेंस ए पे भी मीटिंग हो रही है और एग्जिट बी पे भी मीटिंग हो रही है. वी हैव ऑलरेडी लर्न्ड कि जब मीटिंग होती है तो टाइम कांस्टेंट हो जाता है. अगर टाइम कांस्टेंट हो जाता है तो रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड्स बिकम्स सेम एज द रेशियो ऑफ डिस्टेंसेस. अब यहां पे मुझे कैट और ट्रेन की स्पीड का रेशियो निकालना है, तो आई कैन बिगिन बाय वर्किंग ऑन दिस कंसेप्ट. आई विल से when the meeting takes place at entrance A, at that point of meeting, the speed of the train to the speed of cat should be the distance traveled by train to the distance traveled by cat. Now, we already know that the distance traveled by cat from this point to the entrance A would be 5/12 AB. Now, why to leave it in the form of a fraction? Let us assume that the length of the tunnel is 12x. Now, if the length of the tunnel is 12x, can I say that the distance of the cat from the entrance A will be 5/12 of 12x, which is 5x. So, question के starting में जो बिल्ली है वो entrance A से 5x के distance पे है and exit B से 7x के डिस्टेंस पे है. अब जब एंट्रेंस ए पे मीटिंग होना है तो ट्रेन ने एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया होगा, कैट ने एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया होगा. कैट का डिस्टेंस तो मेरे पास 5x आ गया. व्हाट अबाउट द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय ट्रेन? लेट अस अज्यूम दैट द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय ट्रेन इज y. सो मैंने इस डिस्टेंस को y सपोज कर लिया. इस पॉइंट से लेके इस पॉइंट तक का जो ट्रेन का डिस्टेंस है मैंने उसको y सपोज कर लिया. नाउ कैन आई से दैट द स्पीड ऑफ द ट्रेन टू स्पीड ऑफ कैट ends up becoming y by 5x. Ratio of speeds is the ratio of distances. This is what happens when the meeting takes place at entrance A. Now let us consider the other case. Meeting takes place at exit B. Can I again say that if the meeting has to take place at exit B, then the ratio of the speed of the train to that of the cat will be the ratio of the distance traveled by train to that of the distance traveled by cat. Now, for the meeting taking place at exit B, what is the distance traveled by train? The distance traveled by train would be y plus 12x, and the distance traveled by cat will be 7x. Now, here you have is the ratio of speed of train and cat. Here you have another ratio of speed of train and cat. Can we equate the two? Yes, we can. So y by 5x becomes equals to y plus 12x by 7x. So इसको और इसको आपस में compare कर लेते हैं. What do we get here is y by 5x is equals to y plus 12x by 7x. Fortunately, x cancels x. On cross multiplication, what we get is 7y equals 5y plus 60x. 5y को 7y में से माइनस कर लेते हैं, so 2y is equals to 60x, which implies y equals 30x. Now if y equals 30x, I can take this value of y and substitute this into the ratio. So speed of the train to that of the cat ends up becoming y by 5x, which is 30x by 5x, or perhaps 6:1. So speed of the train to speed of the cat is 6:1. This is not an easy example. In fact, this is one of those peculiar examples which you have to know if you want to solve them. There are certain examples jinko I keep in the category of know it to know it questions. That means if you know how to solve these questions, only then you can solve these questions. This is a peculiar question type, but nonetheless, I don't think it is very difficult to understand. Once you know how to solve this question, if a similar question turns up in your final examination, you would be able to solve such a question. Hopefully, we are understanding the second example here. Let's move on to the next example now. Two cars left Delhi and Agra simultaneously towards each other and met at a distance of 80 kilometers from Delhi. They continued their journey to reach the opposite ends, to turn back and meet again at a distance of 40 kilometers from Agra. What is the total distance between Delhi and Agra? इस क्वेश्चन में मुझे एक सिंपल चीज दी हुई है कि दो गाड़ियां दिल्ली और आगरा से साइमल्टेनियसली स्टार्ट करती हैं. जो चीज मुझे नहीं गिवन है वो है दिल्ली से आगरा का डिस्टेंस. सो आई बिगिन द क्वेश्चन बाय अज्यूमिंग द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन दिल्ली एंड आगरा एज d किलोमीटर्स. तो मैंने दिल्ली से आगरा का जो टोटल डिस्टेंस है उसको d किलोमीटर्स एज्यूम कर लिया. नाउ दिस इज दिल्ली, दिस इज आगरा, and two cars start from Delhi and Agra simultaneously towards each other. So they are moving simultaneously towards each other and they meet at a point which is 80 kilometers away from Delhi. That means जो दिल्ली वाली कार थी point of meeting तक दिल्ली वाली कार ने 80 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल किए और जो आगरा वाली कार है उसने रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया है. बाय द वे अगर टोटल डिस्टेंस दी है और 80 किलोमीटर इसमें से दिल्ली वाली कार ट्रेवल कर चुकी है, तो जो आगरा वाली कार है दैट वुड हैव ट्रेवल्ड द रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस विच विल बी नथिंग बट d minus 80. आफ्टर दे मीट एट दिस पॉइंट दे कंटिन्यू देयर जर्नी. सो जो आगरा से आने वाली कार थी वो दिल्ली की तरफ जाती है और जो दिल्ली से आने वाली कार थी वो आगरा की तरफ जाती है. दे रीच द ऑपोजिट एंड. सो आगरा वाली कार दिल्ली तक पहुंच जाती है एंड दिल्ली वाली कार आगरा तक पहुंच जाती है. दे टर्न बैक, वो वापस ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में मूव करना शुरू करते हैं एंड दे मीट एट अ पॉइंट विच इज 40 किलोमीटर्स अवे फ्रॉम आगरा. सो सेकेंड मीटिंग लेट्स से इस पॉइंट पे होती है एंड दिस पॉइंट इज लेट्स से 40 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम आगरा. दैट मीन्स सेकेंड मीटिंग के पॉइंट पे दिल्ली वाली कार ने दिल्ली से आगरा तक का टोटल डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया है. इट हैज टर्न्ड बैक and then it has covered an additional distance of 40 kilometers. On the other hand, the car which is coming from Agra has covered a distance of d to reach Delhi and then turned back to cover an additional distance of d minus 40. अगर ये total distance d था 40, अगर ये है तो remaining distance d minus 40 हो जाएगा. So what we again have is a case in which two meetings are taking place. We already know that whenever a meeting takes place, the ratio of speeds becomes equals to the ratio of distances. So पहली मीटिंग के लिए मैं ratio of speeds and distances को कंसिडर कर सकता हूं. दूसरी मीटिंग के लिए रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड्स एंड डिस्टेंसेस को कंसिडर कर सकता हूं, और बिकॉज दोनों ही केसेस में सेम कार्स वर्क कर रही हैं तो वहां से जो रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड्स आएगी उसे इक्वेट किया जा सकता है. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम डूइंग हियर. फॉर द फर्स्ट मीटिंग आई एम कंपेयरिंग द रेशियो ऑफ द स्पीड ऑफ द कार फ्रॉम दिल्ली to Agra. I am comparing this ratio of speeds of the car from Delhi to Agra to the ratio of the distance traveled by the car from Delhi to distance of the car from Agra. So जो दिल्ली से आगरा की कार की स्पीड का रेशो है वो उनके डिस्टेंस के रेशो के बराबर होना चाहिए. Now what is the distance traveled by the car from Delhi? Well, it is 80 kilometers. What is the distance traveled by the car from Agra? It is d minus 80 kilometers. So here we have one set of relations. For the second meeting, again the ratio of speeds has to be equal to the ratio of distances traveled. Now what is the distance traveled by the car from Delhi? दिल्ली वाली कार ने पहले दिल्ली से आगरा तक का d किलोमीटर्स का डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया है और उसके बाद 40 किलोमीटर्स और ट्रेवल किए. सो कैन वी से दैट द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय द कार फ्रॉम दिल्ली इज d plus 40. What is the distance traveled by the car from Agra? Well, उसने आगरा से दिल्ली तक का डिस्टेंस d ट्रेवल किया है एंड उसके बाद d minus 40 का और डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया है. सो कैन आई से टोटल डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड इज d plus d minus 40. सो आगरा से दिल्ली तक का डिस्टेंस d एंड देन d minus 40 डिस्टेंस और ट्रेवल किया है. ये भी दिल्ली और आगरा की कार की स्पीड का रेशो है, ये भी दिल्ली और आगरा की कार की स्पीड का रेशो है. इन दोनों को इक्वेट किया जा सकता है. अब अगर मैं इन दोनों को इक्वेट करता हूं देन द इक्वेशन दैट आई गेट इज 80 upon d minus 80 equals d plus 40 upon d plus d 2d minus 40. On cross multiplication what we get is 160d minus 3200 equals d minus 80 into d plus 40. Well, that becomes d square plus 40d minus 80d minus 3200. Now this 3200 cancels 3200. Also 40d में से 80d माइनस होने पे minus 40d बचता है. minus 40d इस साइड पे आके पॉजिटिव हो जाएगा. So on the left hand side what I get is 200d and on the right hand side what I get is d square. Now this thing can be further reorganized as d square minus 200d equals 0, which implies d into d minus 200 equals 0. Therefore either d is 0 or d is 200. Now what did my d represent? D represented my total distance between Delhi and Agra. Now can the total distance between Delhi and Agra be 0? Of course not. So this option gets rejected. My final answer is 200 kilometers. So the distance between Delhi and Agra as per my given question has to be 200 kilometers. This is an important question type. So if you are seriously targeting your exam, you should definitely be knowing this concept of equating two ratios of speed and distance. इस तरीके के स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चंस हमें पेपर में नजर आते हैं. जो कैट एंड ट्रेन की स्पीड वाला क्वेश्चन था, जो टनल वाला क्वेश्चन था, जो हमने इससे पहले किया था, वो भी इसी कंसेप्ट पे काम करता है. ये क्वेश्चन भी इसी कंसेप्ट पे काम करता है. होपफुली वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस particular peculiar concept. Let's move on to the next example now. Two buses travel 120 kilometers each in 12 hours each. The distance between X and Y is 180 kilometers. A bus starts from X at 8 am and another bus starts from Y at 10 am. When do the two buses meet? The first part of my question says that two buses travel 120 kilometers each in 12 hours each. That's a fancy way of saying that the speed of two buses is 10 kilometers per hour. So अगर दोनों buses 120 किलोमीटर 12-12 घंटे में ट्रेवल करती है तो that is as good as saying that the speed of both buses is 10 kilometers per hour. Now the two buses start from stations X and Y which are 180 kilometers apart. So the second thing given to me in the question is that we have two stations, station X and station Y, and station X is 180 kilometers away from station Y. The bus from station X leaves station X at 8 a.m. and the bus from station Y leaves station Y at 10 a.m. Obviously, the speed of two buses has been given to me as 10 kilometers per hour. So I can say that the buses are leaving station X and station Y at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. with a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. My job is to find when the two buses meet each other. अब यहाँ पे दो बसेस के बीच में जो इनिशियल डिस्टेंस है वो 180 किलोमीटर्स का है और उनका स्पीड 10 and 10 है. Can I directly say that the relative speed will be 20, therefore they will be meeting after 180 divided by 20, 9 hours? Can I say that? No, I can't. Why? Because one basic assumption of relative speed is that कि relative speed उन्हीं दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स पे लगाई जा सकती है जो साइमल्टेनियसली मूव कर रहे हैं. अगर ये दोनों बसेस 8 बजे चलना शुरू करती तो रिलेटिव स्पीड लगाई जा सकती थी. अगर ये दोनों बसेस 10 बजे चलना शुरू करती तो भी रिलेटिव स्पीड लगाई जा सकती थी, बिकॉज दोनों ही केसेस में बसेस साइमल्टेनियसली मूव कर रही होती. लेकिन यहाँ पे एक बस सुबह 8 बजे शुरू होती है, दूसरी 10 बजे शुरू होती है. आई कैनॉट अप्लाई रिलेटिव स्पीड हियर. However, what I can do here is that I can consider the bus starting from station X. अब अगर ये सुबह 8 बजे चलना शुरू होती है तो 10 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड के हिसाब से ये 10 बजे तक 20 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल कर चुकी होगी. So what I've done here is that I've shifted the case from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Once we have the case of 10 a.m., relative speed can be directly applied. Now I can say that the remaining distance, which is by the way 180 minus 20, 160. Now I can say that the remaining distance of 160 kilometers will be covered with the relative speed of 10 plus 10, 20 kilometers per hour. So ये जो दोनों बसेस के बीच में 160 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस बचा है, इसको हम रिलेटिव स्पीड 20 के साथ खत्म करेंगे और इसको खत्म करने में हमें 8 घंटे लगेंगे. Now 8 hours after what? 8 hours after 10 a.m. Now 8 hours after 10 a.m. gets me the answer as 6 p.m. So my question was, when do the two buses meet? The two buses meet at 6 p.m. Hopefully that was an easy example. Let's move on to the next example now. Bus A and bus B start from X and Y respectively at 9 a.m. They travel towards Y and X respectively at uniform speed. If A reaches Y at 1 p.m. and B reaches X at 3 p.m., then at what time do they meet? In this question, we have two stations X and Y. Bus A starts from station X and moves towards station Y, and bus B starts from station Y and moves towards station X. Both of them are leaving at 9 a.m. Let me represent the given data in the form of a diagram. So this is the station X, this is the station Y, and they are at a certain distance from each other. By the way, the distance at which they exist from each other is not known to me. What is known to me is that a bus A starts at 9 a.m. from station X and reaches station Y at 1 p.m. Another bus B, starts from station Y at 9 a.m. and reaches station X at 3 p.m. In a way, what has been told to me is that bus A takes 4 hours. Bus A takes 4 hours to cover the distance between stations X and Y, while bus B, starting at 9 ending at 3, takes 6 hours to complete the same distance. What is not given to me is actually the distance XY. So what should I do? I suppose the distance between two stations X and Y as D. Now if I suppose the distance between two stations X and Y as D, can I say that the speed of bus A, which is traveling this distance D in 4 hours, would be D by 4, and the speed of bus B, which is traveling this distance D in 6 hours, will be D by 6. Now the two buses are starting at 9 a.m. so they are moving simultaneously, which means I can directly calculate the relative speed as the sum of two speeds. Remember, the two buses are moving towards each other, so relative speed is indeed the sum of two speeds. So this was the speed of bus A, this was the speed of bus B. Can I say the relative speed in this case will be the sum of two speeds, therefore D by 4 plus D by 6. Now it is with this relative speed that they have to cover this distance. So can I say time taken to cover distance D will be D upon D by 4 plus D by 6. अब तो मुझे बस डिनोमिनेटर में LCM लेना है. So 6 and 4 का LCM 12 आ जाएगा. So this is 3D and this is 2D. So d upon 3d plus 2d by 12, 12 ऊपर ले आते हैं. So 12d divided by 5d, the answer ends up becoming 12 by 5. d cancel हो जाएगा. The answer ends up becoming 12 by 5, which is nothing but 2.4 hours. My question wanted me to find when would they meet. By the way, they would be meeting 2.4 hours after 9 am. So 2.4 घंटे 9 बजे के बाद लगने हैं. 9 बजे के बाद 2 घंटे takes me to 11 am. 0.4 hour, by the way, 1 hour is 60 minutes, therefore 0.4 of an hour is 24 minutes. So basically what I'm saying is 2.4 hours are equivalent to 2 hour 24 minutes. So I have to take 2 hour 24 minutes after 9 am. My answer has to be 11:24 am. So the two buses meet at 11:24 am. Hopefully we are able to get this question. However, there's an easier method of solving the same question. What I have here is a situation in which the distance between x and y is not known. The only thing that is known is that the bus A takes 4 hours to traverse this distance and bus B takes 6 hours to traverse this distance. Whatever I suppose as distance d will be divided by both 4 as well as 6 when I'm calculating the speed of bus A and bus B. अब क्योंकि जो मेरा distance d है उसने 4 से भी divide होना है और 6 से भी divide होना है, then the logical thing that I can do is that I can suppose the distance to be the LCM of denominators. So यहाँ पे denominators में 4 hours and 6 hours आना है. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to consider these 4 hours and 6 hours. I'm going to consider these two times, take their LCM, which is 12, and suppose the distance to be 12 kilometers. The moment I suppose the distance to be 12 kilometers, from here I can directly say that speed of bus A will be nothing but 12 kilometers covered in 4 hours or perhaps 3 kilometers per hour, and speed of bus B will be nothing but 12 kilometers covered in 6 hours or perhaps 2 kilometers per hour. Again, the buses are moving towards each other, so relative speed ends up becoming the sum of these two, which is 5, and therefore the time taken to cover the journey will be 12 by 5 directly or perhaps 2.5 hours. The benefit of taking the LCM is that we are able to reduce this unnecessary fractional calculation. Hopefully we are able to solve this question. Let's move on to next example. If A left x at 9 am and reaches y at 1 pm, and if B left y at 10 am and reaches x at 4 pm, when would they meet? In this question, we are considering two stations, station X and station Y. We have a person A who leaves station X at 9 am and reaches station Y at 1 pm, therefore completing the total journey in a time frame of 4 hours. We have a person B who starts from station Y at 10 am and reaches station X at 4 pm, therefore covering the total journey from Y to X in a time frame of 6 hours. As we have learned in the previous question, if I am not given the distance between station X and station Y, but I am given the times as 4 hours and 6 hours, it is better to suppose the distance as the LCM of two times. So I am supposing the distance as 12 kilometers. Now, person A covers this journey of 12 kilometers in 4 hours. Therefore, the speed of person A is nothing but 3 kilometers per hour. In a similar fashion, I can define the speed of person B as 2 kilometers per hour. At this moment, can I directly apply relative speed? Of course I can't, because one of them is starting at 9 am and the other is starting at 10 am. पहले मुझे इस केस को उस सिचुएशन में लाना पड़ेगा जहां पे रिलेटिव स्पीड लगाई जा सके. So I assume that the person A is traveling for 1 hour. Now, if his speed was 3 kilometers per hour, he would have covered a distance of 3 kilometers in first 1 hour of his journey. Now it is 10 am and person A is moving in this direction while person B is moving in this direction. The distance still to be covered is 9 kilometers, and this distance of 9 kilometers is to be covered with the relative speed of 3 plus 2, 5 kilometers. So I'll say that the time of meeting will be 9 kilometers covered with the relative speed of 3 plus 2, 5, or perhaps the time ends up becoming 1.8 hours. Now, what about 0.8 of an hour? Well, if 1 hour is 60 minutes, 0.8 of an hour would translate to 48 minutes. So can I say they would be meeting after 1 hour and 48 minutes? Now 1 hour 48 minutes after what? After 10 a.m. not 9 a.m. Don't make that mistake of considering the question from 9 a.m. Consider the question from 10 a.m. because you have applied relative speed after 10 a.m. So 1 hour 48 minutes after 10 a.m. takes my final answer to 11:48 a.m. An easy example, if you know how to solve it, by considering the total distance as the LCM of 2 times. Let us move on to the next example now. A and B start from point X towards Y, while C starts from point Y towards point X simultaneously at 9 a.m. If the ratio of speeds of A, B and C is 5:3:4 and A and C meet at 10 a.m., at what time will A, B and C reach their destinations? The first thing given to me in this question is that there is a station X and there is a station Y. A and B start from station X towards station Y at 9 a.m. So A और B दोनों station X से station Y की तरफ जा रहे हैं and they are starting at 9 a.m. Simultaneously, C starts from station Y towards X again at 9 a.m. One thing which is not given to me is the distance between station X and station Y. So I suppose the distance to be D. I am also given the ratio of speeds of A, B and C. So A, B and C का जो speeds का ratio है, that has been given to me as 5:3:4. If the ratio of speeds of A, B and C has been given to me as 5:3:4, from here I can suppose the speed of A as 5x, the speed of B as 3x and speed of C as 4x. Next, what I'm given is that A and C they meet at 10 a.m. That means A यहाँ से 9 बजे निकला था, C यहाँ से 9 बजे निकला था. ये दोनों ने मिलकर जब जर्नी को ट्रेवल किया तो इन्होंने 1 आवर में डिस्टेंस D को ट्रेवल कर लिया. By the way, time taken by A and C to cover the journey should have been distance D covered with their relative speed. By the way, if two objects are moving towards each other and it is given to me that their speeds are 5x and 4x, can I replace this relative speed with 5x plus 4x, 9x? Now distance D traveled with a relative speed of 9x equals 1 hour. So time taken by A to C to meet is 1 hour. From here, what I get is distance D as 9x. If distance D has been given to me as 9x, if distance D has been given to me as 9x and person A is covering this distance of 9x with a speed of 5x, I'll say time taken by A will be 9x by 5x or perhaps 1.8 hours. 1.8 hours can be converted into minutes format as 1 hour 48 minutes. 1 hour 48 minutes after what? After 9 a.m. So A would reach the destination at 10:48 a.m. Next we have person B. Person B has to travel this distance, which is indeed 9x. Person B has to travel this distance 9x with a speed of 3x. So time taken by person B to travel this distance will be 9x by 3x or perhaps 3 hours. 3 hours after 9 a.m. would imply that he would be reaching his destination at 12 noon. Last, what we have is person C, who is covering this distance of 9x with a speed of 4x. Therefore, time taken by person C will be 9x by 4x, which will be 2.25 hours. 2.25 hours are as good as 2 hours 15 minutes. So 2 hours 15 minutes after 9 a.m. would take us to 11:15 a.m. as the answer. Hopefully, we are able to understand this question. With this, we cover up with all the basic examples of concepts of meetings. Next, we move on to a very peculiar concept which often sees its application in some of the questions of time, speed and distance. Two cars start from A and B with speed SA and SB respectively. If after crossing each other, they take A hours and B hours respectively to reach B and A, then ratio of speed of A to that of B is the under root of B by A. It's a peculiar concept to understand. Generally, what we see is that when two objects start from opposite ends, they meet and the question ends. In this particular concept, they do not stop after meeting, but rather they continue their journeys. So here we have a situation. One car is starting from point A and it is going towards point B. Another car is starting from point B and coming towards point A. Let us say they meet each other in somewhere in the middle at point X. So जो कार A से B की तरफ जा रही थी, obviously with speed SA, it met the other car which was coming from B towards A with speed SB at this point X. They do not stop at this point X, but rather they continue their journeys. So जो कार यहां से B की तरफ जा रही थी, जो कार पॉइंट A से पॉइंट B की तरफ जा रही थी, जब उसने दूसरी गाड़ी को पॉइंट X पे मीट किया, उसके बाद वो रुके नहीं, बट उन्होंने अपनी जर्नी को आगे कंटिन्यू किया. सो जो कार यहां से B की तरफ जा रही थी, मीटिंग के बाद उसने A आवर्स और लिए दूसरे एंड तक पहुंचने के लिए, और जो कार पॉइंट B से पॉइंट A की तरफ जा रही थी, उसने मीटिंग के बाद B आवर्स और लिए अपनी जर्नी को कंप्लीट करने के लिए. If this is the situation, then the speed of car A to that of car B is the under root of B by A, where B is the time taken by car B to cover the remaining journey and A is the time taken by car A to cover the remaining journey. This is a formula that we need to remember directly for certain peculiar questions. I would want you to understand how we reach this formula. Let's discuss the derivation of this formula. Let's discuss how we are able to get this formula. Let us first of all consider this point of meeting X. At the point of meeting, can I say that since time traveled by both cars, that is the car coming from point A as well as the car coming from point B, at point X, because the time traveled by both the cars is same, I can say that ratio of speeds of car A and car B will be same as the ratio of distances traveled. Let me be more clear here. जो कार A और कार B की स्पीड्स का रेशियो है, वो रेशियो उनके डिस्टेंसेस के रेशियो के बराबर होगा. दैट मीन्स पॉइंट A से पॉइंट X तक का जो डिस्टेंस था, लेट्स कॉल इट एज डिस्टेंस D1, एंड पॉइंट B से पॉइंट X तक का जो डिस्टेंस था, लेट्स कॉल इट एज डिस्टेंस D2. ये D1 एंड D2 उसी रेशियो में होंगे जो SA और SB का रेशियो होगा. लेट मी जस्ट रीराइट इट. Speed of A upon speed of B will be in the same ratio as distance D1 and distance D2. This is the situation up to the point of meeting. Now let us say they have met and they are now moving towards the opposite direction. अब जो कार पॉइंट A से पॉइंट B की तरफ जा रही थी, मीटिंग पॉइंट के बाद उसने रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस, दैट इज डिस्टेंस D2 को A आवर्स में कवर करना है. So basically what's happening is that they have to cover this remaining distance D2 in A hours, which implies that speed of car A is nothing but distance D2 covered in A hours, and in a similar fashion we can define speed of car B as distance D1 covered in B hours. इस रिलेशन में मुझे D1 एंड D2 का वैल्यू चाहिए. हम इस रिलेशन से D1 एंड D2 का वैल्यू निकाल सकते हैं. लेट्स डू दैट. If SA equals D2 by A, from here I can say D2 equals A times SA, and from here I can say D1 equals B times SB. Now since we are considering D1 and D2, let us take these two values and substitute them here. So SA by SB equals D1. What is D1? B times S1. So SA by SB equals B times SB divided by A times SA. SA को इधर ले जाते हैं, SB को इधर ले जाते हैं. So SA by SB whole square equals B by A, which implies the ratio of speed of A to that of speed of B will be the under root of B by A, where B and A are the times taken by the two cars to cover the remaining parts of the journey. Hopefully we are able to understand this derivation. However, this derivation is not required for your paper. Nowhere on your paper or nowhere on the questions asked would you be ever asked to show or give the proof of this derivation. ये derivation हमें नहीं चाहिए. जो चीज हमें चाहिए वो है ये कंसेप्ट और ये फॉर्मूला. इस फॉर्मूला को एक बार सिंपल भाषा में समझ लेते हैं. एक कार पॉइंट ए से पॉइंट बी की तरफ जा रही थी, दूसरी कार पॉइंट बी से पॉइंट ए की तरफ आ रही थी. ये दोनों की आपस में मीटिंग हुई और मीटिंग होने के बाद जो बचा हुआ डिस्टेंस था उसको कवर करने में अगर कार ए ने ए आवर्स लिए हैं और कार बी ने बचा हुआ डिस्टेंस कवर करने के लिए बी आवर्स लिए हैं, देन उनकी स्पीड्स का रेशो b बाय ए का अंडर रूट होगा. द पॉइंट टू रिमेंबर हियर इज a की स्पीड के सामने b का रिमेनिंग टाइम आता है और b की स्पीड के सामने a का रिमेनिंग टाइम आता है. Hopefully we are able to understand this concept as well as the derivation of the formula. Let's move on to certain examples in which we see the application of this concept. A man starts from L to M and another man starts from M to L at the same time. After passing each other, they complete their respective journeys in 4 by 5 hours and 1 by 3 hours. Find the ratio of their speeds. The first thing given to me in the question is that there are two endpoints L and M. A person is starting from L and moving towards M, while another person is starting from M and moving towards L. Let us say जो बंदा L से M की तरफ जा रहा है उसकी स्पीड SL है और जो बंदा M से L की तरफ जा रहा है उसकी स्पीड SM है. Obviously, if they are moving towards each other, eventually they are gonna meet. Let us say they meet at this point X. As per my question, after meeting at point X, the person who was coming from L covers this remaining journey in 4 by 5 hours and the person who was coming from M after the point of meeting covers the remaining journey in 1 by 3 hours. If we have understood the discussion of the previous segment, अगर हमने पिछली डिस्कशन को समझा है तो इस सिचुएशन को देखकर हम डायरेक्टली कह सकते हैं that speed of L upon speed of M will be the under root of 1 by 3 divided by 4 by 5. इसको सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते हैं. 1 by 3 इज अ मिक्स्ड फ्रैक्शन जिसको 3 into 3 9 plus 1 जिसको 10 by 3 की फॉर्म में लिखा जा सकता है एंड 4 by 3 इज अ मिक्स्ड फ्रैक्शन जिसको 24 by 5 की फॉर्म में लिखा जा सकता है. सो स्पीड ऑफ L अपॉन स्पीड ऑफ M इज 10 by 3 डिवाइडेड बाय 24 by 5. इसको फर्दर सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते हैं. सो दिस एंड्स अप बिकमिंग 10 by 3 into 5 by 24. Now this is 5 2s are, this is 12s are, and what we have here is under root of 25 by 36, which ends up giving us the ratio as 5:6. Hopefully we are able to understand this concept well. One more example and then we end today's lecture. Two cars start from Jammu and Leh simultaneously. They meet at Srinagar and then took 16 hours and 9 hours respectively to reach opposite ends after meeting. If the speed of the car from Jammu is 60 km per hour, then calculate number 1 speed of the car from Leh, number 2 distance between Jammu and Srinagar. इस question में we are considering 3 points. So we have Jammu, we have Srinagar somewhere in the middle, and Leh is the third point. The question begins by announcing that two cars are leaving Jammu and Leh simultaneously. So ये दो गाड़ियां जम्मू और लेह से simultaneously निकलती हैं. Let us say that the speed of the car is SJ and the speed of the car from Leh is SL. These two cars meet at Srinagar and after they have met at Srinagar, they take 16 hours and 9 hours respectively to complete the remaining journey. So जो गाड़ी जम्मू से आ रही थी उसको श्रीनगर के बाद 16 घंटे और लगते हैं लेह पहुंचने में, और जो गाड़ी लेह से आ रही थी उसको श्रीनगर क्रॉस करने के बाद जम्मू पहुंचने में 9 घंटे और लगते हैं. From this entire diagram, I can directly say that the speed of the car from Jammu to that of the speed of car from Leh will be nothing but under root of 9 by 16, which is 3 by 4. So from here I've reduced the ratio of the speed of the car from Jammu to that of the car from Leh as 3:4. Also, this has been given to me as 60 kilometers per hour. So I can directly say that the speed of the car from Leh must be 80 kilometers per hour. This is the first part of the question. The second part of the question requires me to calculate the distance between Srinagar and Jammu. So Jammu से श्रीनगर का जो distance है मुझे calculate करना है. If I have to calculate distance, I require two things, speed and time. Distance निकालने के लिए मुझे दो चीजें चाहिए होती हैं, speed and time. Time I already have as 9 hours. What is the speed? See, my question says कि जो गाड़ी ले से आ रही थी वो जम्मू से आने वाली गाड़ी को श्रीनगर में मिलती है और उसके बाद ले से आने वाली गाड़ी श्रीनगर को क्रॉस करने के बाद जम्मू तक पहुंचने में 9 आवर्स लेती है. दैट मीन्स जो गाड़ी ले से आ रही थी श्रीनगर क्रॉस करने के बाद जम्मू तक पहुंचने में उस गाड़ी को 9 आवर्स लगे. उस गाड़ी की स्पीड 80 है, टाइम उसका 9 आवर्स है. सो कैन आई से डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय दैट कार will be nothing but 80 into 9 or perhaps 720 kilometers. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. With this we cover up with the second lecture of time, speed and distance.